Hello, we'll be watching the Disney Plus version of A New Hope, just considering it's the most widespread copy of the film.
That way you can follow along and enjoy. All right, there we go. Boom, 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 boom.
All right, this is Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. I'm Steven.
I'm Will.
And, we're watching it.
Just because we can.
Yeah.
Big old commentary, baby.
So there's that Lucasfilm logo going away.
I feel like you're being too specific.
Yeah. Well, theater of the mind.
Did they revamp the logo? Like in the special edition, did they redo their title crawl?
I know they altered it when they re-released it in theaters back in the 80s after The Empire Strikes Back came out.
Like just
add the episode 4 part.
Well, just even that, like the title crawl itself looks digital and like sharp.
I think they redid the A Long Time Ago in a Galaxy Far, Far Away part. I think they redid that.
You don't think they redid this? I feel like that looks wrong.
Well, not since the 80s. I think it's been the same since then. It is a period of civil war. Rebel spaceships striking from the hidden rebel... Oh, fuck it. I screwed it up.
Can't even read.
Well, we're going to try.
During the battle, rebel spies managed to steal the secret plans to the Empire's ultimate weapon, the Death Star, an armored space station with enough power to destroy an entire planet. Pursued by the Empire's sinister agents, Princess Leia races home aboard her starship.
That's how they say it in the movie, too.
Custodian of the stolen plans that can save her people and restore freedom to the galaxy. Oh, quadruple dot.
I never liked that in Star Wars.
Yeah, why is it not triple dot? What are you doing, George?
That's not a proper ellipses, George.
Yeah, George is fired.
Yeah, kick him out of here. Doesn't know what he's doing.
I cannot think of the last time I watched this movie start to finish.
I've seen it recently. But it's one of the Star Wars movies I didn't see until I was much older.
Well, yeah, you missed out on Star Wars as a child.
Well, yeah, for a long time, I had many copies of Episode 1 on VHS.
Wait.
For every VHS we had within my family.
In the special edition, was that moon always there?
Yeah, it starts off looking at the moon, and then it pans down to that kind of blue one, so it looks like the Earth and a moon, and then it pans down and there's another planet. That's what it's doing.
Okay, I really do not remember this movie at all.
Yeah. Love this movie, though. I love versions of this movie. I don't like the current version.
Yeah, this is the Disney version.
Yes. So we're going to have the McClunky scene.
I feel like I'm overthinking this. Like, I feel like some of the effects just look redone.
I think they've been touched up a little bit, some of them.
Like
I know they recomposited stuff.
Well, it was just even like the ship there on the engine flying it looked different.
Mm. Yeah, I know, especially for The Empire Strikes Back, they redid the Hoth battle so that the things would look less transparent. Also, I love these costumes. Like, they're so simple, but I just love them. This is Star Wars to me. The gritty, human stuff.
Look how dirty C-3PO and
filthy.
R2-D2 are.
And he gets even worse as the movie goes on.
Yeah, like, they look aged and like they've existed.
Mm-hmm. Which is strange on board the Tantive 4, which is like the cleanest spaceship in the entire trilogy.
Yeah.
Like, inside-wise.
C-3PO in this film actually looks so different to how he does later on. Like, all the scratches and blemishes and things on him.
Mm-hmm. I love that guy. He just has a face,
Yeah, they don't cast actors like that no more.
Yeah. Like, these are just random guys in Britain that they just pulled off the street and stuff.
The only time stormtroopers are actually able to shoot people.
Yeah, pretty much. It sets them up as like an actual intimidating force, which we can't really say the same for the subsequent films. But it's such an effective scene.
I feel like filming this would have been so goofy. We're all just like pew, 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 pew.
Yeah. And those helmets didn't stay on their heads at all. Like, there's some behind the scenes outtakes and stuff, and they're just falling apart. And people are tripping over everything, and this movie was a mess making it, which is kind of why I love it, because there's so many weird little inconsistencies in it. It's like you could see the seams almost,
Yeah.
I think that's the only time a stormtrooper actually cared about another stormtrooper. Here's our main villain, Darth Vader. with his.
You think that guy on the left there, he regrets dying with his arm up for however many takes they had to do?
Yeah, probably. He probably regrets not being able to see his face in the in the movie, so he can't be like, "Oh, that's me," at like conventions and stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Although I'm sure they probably don't even know who some of these people are. Like, there's so many like random actors and stuff in these movies that like, you know, they don't know who they are because they're just randoms. Like one of the rebel generals was the guy who used to like drive taxis. Like, these are just regular people making a regular movie.
I mean, nowadays you have to get a cast list and everything together.
Yeah, and then unions and stuff.
I think the union still existed at this point for this
they
film,
did.
but just more like the way the casting works. Like, you pretty much have to have written everyone's name and everything now.
Pretty much, yeah. Which is very helpful for people researching these films, but yeah. Oh, here's Captain Antilles, allegedly. Because they never actually name like some of these characters on screen, and you have to kind of just assume, based on like other things, that like who these characters are. Because there's like an outtake where this guy is like, he mentions some other name. It's not in this movie. It's not even in the script. He's just like, he mentions some guy. And
Yeah.
like, is that him? Is that the people he's like working for? Like, it's such a mystery, this film.
I feel like they retcon a lot of characters specifically.
Oh, 100%.
Where they're like, oh yeah, this guy here, you see that guy? He's actually this person.
Yeah, this is Glormbo Fig from Planet of the Zat. Like, no, it isn't. Fuck off. Also, that stun is very underused in these movies. I don't even think it comes back until like the Clone Wars, like the TV
They
show.
stun some people here and there, I think, don't they?
Not in the movies, I don't think.
Also, they definitely stole that from Star Trek.
Oh, which thing?
The stun?
Oh yeah, 100%. They stole a lot of stuff from Star Trek.
And Dune.
And Dune, yeah.
Oh my god, I told you about the review I saw for Dune. Where
Which
someone
one?
wrote, oh, Dune just ripped off Star Wars because they're reviewing the new Dune movie. And I was like, oh my god, man. Like, are you just unaware? Why do you think, spice is a thing in Star Wars? Yeah. Or why is Tatooine a desert planet?
Actually,
it's because of Dune.
The Sand People are from Dune.
But yeah, it just shows like some freaking movie critics just don't even know what they're watching. They're
some
like,
people,
oh, yeah. Denis Villeneuve created this world that he ripped off Star Wars for. Yeah. My guy, it's by Frank Herbert.
Frank Herbert, the original.
The creator of most modern sci-fi.
Yeah. I love this other
Wait,
guy.
who's the guy on the left?
He's just some guy. He never shows up again. He's like, this is one scene. And he's just not in the rest of the movie.
That'd be such a baller thing. Be like, yeah, you see that scene where Vader's interviewing Leia? That's me.
Yeah. Well, it's him. It's not his voice, though. They dub him over. It's weird. In this movie...
Oh, look at him. He got a nod in.
He's got a line, but they dub him with an American voice. Which is strange, because all the other movies, the Empire, is like mostly British people.
Yeah, they're like high British, aren't they?
This guy's like, they'll never believe what you're saying. I'm from Kentucky,
I bet this guy is retconned into being some story character.
I'm sure there's like a book that's all about this guy. And also the dubbing, it's like a spaghetti western where it's like, it's good, but it's not that close. It's a hard match. Also, I have a theory. That one guy who just gave that little update, I think he's the same voice actor who does Dodonna in this movie, like General Dodonna. It sounds very similar. I've never seen it confirmed anywhere. I've seen speculation. I think it's the same guy doing those voices, because there's a lot of people who did multiple things in this. But we'll get there when we get there. Here we are in Tunisia. The droids are looking even worse for wear.
Yeah, they get so gross so quickly.
Yeah, they just... By the time like Luke looks at them, they are filthy.
Well, like, look at C-3PO. C-3PO is like walked like 100 meters from the pod to where they are now, and he looks like he's not been refurbished in years.
Yeah, he's got those dripping bits of like of
or like, look at R2. R2 looks like he's been out in the sun for years.
He looks like he wore off his nipples in a marathon. Also, there's no rocks that way. C-3PO. Although I gotta say, I gotta give Anthony Daniels credit. He's really good as C-3PO. Like that is his role.
I mean, it is. He's the only person to appear in every Star Wars film.
Yeah, he's in all of them. Yeah. Well, except the Ewok movies.
Nobody likes the Ewok movies.
I kind of like them. They're silly, but they're interesting.
Cinematography of old movies, just from being shot on film, looks so different.
Oh yeah, 100%. And there's a richness to the colors, even though this is like just blue and beige is all we're seeing. Like even the characters are just blue and beige.
It's just how it deals with like sky and highlights, and just satisfying.
Yeah. Although I will say, I think they've done some like digital noise reduction.
Yeah, Disney does that a lot. They also went back and did that for Iron Man, where they just reduced all the grain out of them because they wanted it to match the digital versions of the film. Which I'm like, why? You're like losing the look.
Yeah, and it has detail too in the grain.
Yeah,
like it looks strange to some modern viewers, but like grain is part of film. To take it out is also is that. I think some of these shots, C-3PO has been mirrored, like horizontally, because that big stain going down the one side and the other shot was on the other side. I just discovered something.
Maybe it was a continuity thing that they were like, oh shit.
This movie is so full of continuity errors. Like, it's unbelievable.
I want to know how R2-D2 got down into that valley.
He probably fell.
Just tumbled.
Yeah, it took a roll. Poor Kenny Baker just comes out of it, just battered and bruised. It's like, guys, you didn't need to do it for real. Also, this movie like makes the Jawas seem intimidating, which is quite an impressive feat.
Yeah, they do seem a little offset,
like they're spooky. Like look at the
the way you
peeking around corners with glowing eyes and their little hoods. Yeah,
they're really like not utilized at all in any other films, really.
Up until like the Mandalorian.
Like they pop up a lot here and there, but they don't actually like do anything.
Yeah, they're in Return of the Jedi, but like as background characters, like all the other weird aliens that show up in like the Jabba the Hutt scenes, and they're in the Phantom Menace, I think, and also in Attack of the Clones was like their other big thing.
Yeah, they're in Attack of the Clones. They
give directions.
Yeah, they're like they're over there, and he's like, okay,
I got you. I'm gonna kill those guys. And they're like, okay, good.
Oh, Phantom Menace, they show up, I guess, a bit.
Yeah, I think
they're
so.
like out looting pod racers that blow up, I think, aren't they?
I think so. But I think that's only like a new addition, some of those shots. Because I know the Phantom Menace, they added in things. And they added in the CGI Yoda, which I hate. But they are, I'm pretty sure they're in it. Also, I love they're carrying him as like it's like a coffin. It's some like New Orleans like festival like. Also, this music here playing, there is some suspiciously similar music in Monsters Inc. when they're the trash compactor scene.
Is there?
There, yeah. I don't know if it's based on like some classical music. Like a lot of Star Wars music is based on classical music. I'm not sure if they have a similar base or if the person who did the Monsters Inc. music looked at this, but it is like the little doo-doo, 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 doo-doo. That's
well, who?
I don't know off the top of my head. I don't think it's John Williams. I don't think John Williams did the score to Monsters Inc.
No, I don't think he did either. But
although it is funny that that music from Attack of the Clones ended up in one of the Harry Potter movies. Because John Williams like mixed up some stuff and it ended up in the movie.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, in one of the it's like in a Quidditch scene, like some of the music from Attack of the Clones when they're in the speeders in Coruscant, like trying to track down the bounty hunter. Some of the music from that is in it.
And he just fucked that up.
Yeah, I don't know. He just was like, here you go. Gonk. Gonk.
There's so many things that came out of the Jawa's Sandcrawler that also get retconned in, I feel like.
Oh, some of this stuff is so iconic, but it's like mostly iconic because like there was action figures of it.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, I just love these. Also, that thing is freaky. This like Art Deco like monster. I love some of these like designs. They're so out there. Like that looked like a droid from like Doctor Who. Like, it didn't look like a Star Wars thing. It's too human.
Well, doesn't it show up again somewhere? Like, wasn't that like part of like original design helmet for Darth Vader?
It's probably based on some Ralph McQuarrie art for sure.
Like, I think I've seen that somewhere else.
It's also in Return of the Jedi. Oh, here's the CGI stuff again.
Okay,
Let me just throw up, please.
the stormtroopers are looking dirty. Like, why are they so dirty? Did they fall around, like, just roll around in the sand?
I think these are people who are like stationed here.
Yeah, but it just doesn't, like, why are they so dirty?
I don't know, man.
There's not even water, so, like, how is the sand sticking to them? Like, maybe if they were slightly beige, but, like, why do they look muddy?
Sweat? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. But on the outside?
Yeah. That's one of the less egregious special edition things, because I think it's a model. It fits better in with the thing instead of adding a CGI piece into the movie. I think the same way that the added footage in Empire Strikes Back of the Wampa, because it's like an actual practical thing. It looks like it could have been made at the time, where some of the other special edition editions, some of those are less convincing because they don't look like they belong. Like they look like they're on top of the movie almost, which they are, I guess.
We talked about the original cut of the beginning of Star Wars, and it is wildly different.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Like, following C-3PO and R2-D2, so much more interesting than what they were originally planning, where it's just like Luke out doing some chores.
Yeah, he's with his like pit droid or whatever. That's like, I know it's not a pit droid, but this stupid crane thing where it's like fixing a moisture evaporator.
Yeah, he's just like out.
He's got his little sun hat and his goggles.
Yeah, he's just chilling.
He's like, come on, Treadwell, we gotta go to Tashi Station to see my friend Big Darklighter. Although I don't mind Biggs getting a bigger role in the movie in the special edition because so many of his scenes were cut. He just
it makes the relationship feel a lot more meaningful because like when they run into each other again, he's like, "Hey, Luke!"
Yeah, it's such a good acted scene. It's great. Whereas in this, it's just like he's one of the pilots. You have to really be paying attention. Like Biggs is just this mystery voice. Like they mention him.
Yeah, Luke talks about him like once or twice.
Oh, there's Aunt Beru, everyone's favorite skeleton. But also in the mono dub of this movie that they did for like theaters that didn't have stereo, all of her voice lines are different. Like they're different takes. It's such a strange thing because they did the mono after they did the stereo, and they're just like, yeah, this is better. But they didn't like some of the other sound effects they brought over from the mono dub into the special edition. But that was just not one of them. They just kept the original voice for some reason.
I feel like they really nailed the recasting of Uncle Owen with what's his face.
Yeah, what's his face?
I can't think of his name.
I can't either. I do think it's a good casting choice, yeah. Although a bit young, I think.
Maybe a tiny bit, but
you could say the same thing for like Obi-Wan and for.
Well, yeah, especially Obi-Wan. You go
from
from Ewan McGregor to Alec Guinness.
Yeah, like I think because they probably before they made like Revenge of the Sith and Attack of the Clones, I think they had a better idea of the distance between the movies, time-wise. I think it was supposed to be greater. So when they casted him in like Phantom Menace when he's like a young man, I think it was meant to be set further in the past than it was, or than it ended up being.
Yeah, well, that's on good old George.
Yeah, George is like, yeah, we have to have Luke and Leia be born in this movie.
Okay, the one thing I know that they did retcon is that R2-D2 and this other droid that blows up here, R2 like talked to him and he's like, yo man, I got plans for the Resistance, and this guy was like some Resistance droid spy.
Yeah, there's so
who was just there, and he's like, okay, R2, I got you, I'll help you out. So he blows himself up so that R2 gets out of the...
I hate those kind of retcons, like where they try to make these background characters be super important when they're absolutely not.
But I specifically know there's a whole story about this other droid that just offs himself.
Yeah, I think it's in the certain point of view book, which I don't really like, to be honest.
Because like it can just be the droid malfunctioned. Like,
yeah, there doesn't need to be this explanation. Like none of these characters need to be the main character, you know?
Yeah, it's just so unnecessary. I mean, it's funny, but at the same time, it's just like, but why?
Yeah, we don't need the Ballad of Beru Lars. Like they could be background characters.
Something I find really sad is that they always have to re-dig out the Skywalker home there in Tatooine. Whenever they go back to film it, because it just gets filled with sand.
Yeah, and it gets destroyed by the elements because it's made of like plaster and bits of twigs and stuff. Like it's not. These weren't made to last. These are like sets from the 1970s. They're made of absolute garbage. But like the craftsmanship to like make some of this stuff look as good as it looks is incredible. And I think part of the crappiness of some of the material they use kind of helps with the aged, lived-in vibe.
I think I've talked about this with people, and people are like, "Oh, Star Wars still looks rough and like lived in now," and I'm like, "No, it doesn't. You go back and you watch these, like everything just looks dirty and gross."
Yeah, like everyone's been smoking cigarettes when they've been making it. It's covered in like gunk.
Like you watch a lot of the droids now, they look super clean, but you see scratches and dirt and everything on R2 and
Like you could see fingerprints in Darth Vader's mask.
Yeah.
Like that are molded in from when they were sculpting it, you know?
Which I think some of those things, like, yes, it's better that they aren't there, but you just look at even Luke's house, like the pipes and like there's...
Like look at those old wires up there. Like
yeah.
Those are probably from like the 1940s, like cloth wound like wire.
Or just even Luke's clothes are slightly dirty or like wrinkled. Yeah. You just don't get that anymore in Star Wars. Star Wars is way cleaner now.
Yeah. It's so sterile looking. Like it looks like a different franchise almost.
Because even things that are supposed to be set in the same locations or time, like everyone just is clean, which you don't really see in these films. I think they do get cleaner as they go on.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, this one specifically, like it just looks rough.
But they do it intentionally, though.
Like look even how stained the walls are on the ground.
Yeah, it's filthy. Like there's smoke coming out of that thing. Oh. Why doesn't C-3PO know Princess Leia's name?
Yeah, why doesn't he know her?
He should know that, I think.
I mean, you would think. But isn't he supposed to have just been wiped and like just lived on that ship for decades?
Yeah, I think that's kind of the idea. Although that contradicts the Droids cartoon from the 1980s.
It contradicts a lot of things.
It contradicts a lot of things. Yeah, and also there's like a radio drama of the original Star Wars movie, which is really interesting if you want to listen to it. And they meet, like, there's like scenes of C-3PO and like Princess Leia just talking and stuff, and that's...
Yeah, so why does he not know her?
Yeah.
The retcon, it hurts.
Also, we could just be not paying attention. I'm pretty sure he probably like said her name. Anyway.
Yeah, good old Obi-Wan Kenobi. I didn't love the Kenobi show retcon for like, oh, why Leia calls out to Obi-Wan for help.
Yeah.
I think that show had potential.
It did, but it would have been better if it was just set on Tatooine and it was Obi-Wan just doing stuff. There's a good book. It's the good book. It's called I think it's called Kenobi, and it came out years ago. But it's like just him living in this like little town doing stuff. Like it's like a Western almost. And it works because it's such a small scale story that it doesn't like not every Star Wars thing has to be this like grand end of the universe kind of scenario.
Well, that's what I've been saying. I've said about a lot of Marvel films is that too many of the stories now are Avengers level threats where it's like, why are only this one guy going to deal with it? Whereas if you watch like Captain America Winter Soldier, yes, it's a big threat, but not in the same way.
Yeah, it's
like it's more contained. And it makes sense that like, okay, not all the Avengers are necessarily showing up to this because it's fast paced. Like, Cap's on the run, he's wanted by the government, or even like, first Iron Man movie is just like him fighting a old business guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like I don't know. Whereas you see now, like every single Marvel thing is like world-ending catastrophe.
Yeah. Yeah, not everything needs to end with a Death Star.
Yeah. Ooh.
Well, there's Treadwell in the background. Also, what are they eating? Like,
blue milk.
Well, like, yeah, blue milk.
Oh yeah, look at that. It's not even that blue.
Well, they also mess with the color balance of this, so it's so pink compared to what it should look like. Like, especially when like lasers are going off, it's like very skewed into the fuchsia.
I really like the colors of Star Wars. Like the colors of Tatooine and how they all look. It's really satisfying. It's a nice color palette.
Yeah, what are they eating? They're eating like oatmeal or something.
Also, Aunt Beru is not even taking one bite. She's just been pushing her spoon around.
That's acting, Will.
I know, but still.
You don't want to have a spit bucket for Aunt Peru? Ugh, what is that?
Is it soup?
Yeah, but there's like cereal. There's like little peppers. Ugh. Like, it doesn't seem like the
Does
kind of food
Beru
you'd
even really have lines outside of like her just yelling for Luke to come help her with something?
Luke, tell Uncle that we need a new droid and make sure it speaks Bachi.
Oh no, she did just speak. Steve, fun fact.
What?
Doesn't pass the Bechdel test.
Yeah, because there's like 3 women in this entire like trilogy. 3 with like speaking lines, I think.
Good old Bechdel test.
Although there is one pilot in the end of Return of the Jedi that is a woman, like played by a woman, but they voiced her over with a guy. And there's supposed to be other ones. There was like some old lady one that's on the cutting room floor. There's like another.
Actually, do any of the Star Wars films pass the Bechdel test? I would imagine some of them do. Like, I think the new trilogy would, because it has Rey talking
Phantom
to Leia.
Menace might.
Phantom Menace
with like some of the Padme's like handmaidens and stuff talking to her.
Yeah.
Maybe with Shmi Skywalker. I don't know. I've never actually looked into it. Like
Episode 2 probably does because of all the like politics stuff.
Possibly, yeah. I know it doesn't deleted scenes because there's like stuff with like Padme and her family, and they're just like hanging out doing family stuff on Naboo.
Why does C-3PO look so small there?
It's like a miniature. Oh, that's a cool ship as well. Like just these speeders.
Is that special edition? I don't remember seeing this.
No, that's from the original, I think.
I have not watched this movie in a long time.
Yeah. We probably should have done our research a bit more before doing this.
Yeah, well, I will never do research when it comes to this.
Also, I like how in the special edition they replaced all the English words on stuff and replaced it with like Arabic, but they kept like the the Islamic numerals.
You can really tell they're lighting this scene from how shiny C-3PO is. Like, look how much reflecting he's doing.
Yeah, like, you can probably see the camera and reflected in him.
Although, they might be shooting on anamorphic lenses because of the nice flare.
Possibly. I don't know what they shot it on. Also, I love like Owen's like robe is made out of like towels.
Yeah, it looks so uncomfortable.
And especially in the heat too. Like this is Tunisia they're filming in.
Also, they never change outfits, even though the days go by. They're just always wearing the same thing.
Everyone in Star Wars just has one pair of clothes. And that's it. No one has personal belongings in Star Wars. It's like a perfect communist society. There's no private property in Star Wars.
I mean, most people live on ships, I feel like. There's not many people that like own homes in Star Wars that are main characters.
Yeah, it's like the modern day. No one has a house.
Damn. I live on a spaceship.
Yeah. Also, they just have like just regular ass guns.
Oh man. Riding around those things on the Lego movies, absolute classic. Or the Lego games, not movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, the sound design of the big mammoth-y creatures is pretty good.
Yeah, the Bantha, yeah. Yeah, you gotta give credit to Ben Burtt for like the sound effects that they have in this. Like that is like 9/10 of the Star Wars movies. The sound, it's so iconic.
I don't understand how R2 managed to get so far away.
Yeah, just overnight, he's just miles away.
Like, he's not particularly fast.
Yeah, it's not like this is flat terrain either. It's like rocks and stuff. He's got to like go around boulders and things.
Oh man,
that's actually they've composited 2 shots of that. Luke just gets his ass handed to him.
I freaking love the.
Well, that's loop footage too. They only did it like once or twice, and they just kept looping it. But it's so
it works seamlessly. Like, you really don't notice.
Oh, there's a special edition rock they added in front of it, but not in this shot.
Wait, really?
Yeah. In the original cut of the film, like that rock isn't there.
I guess it makes him seem more hidden.
Yeah, but when you go to the other shots,
how do you get in there though?
Exactly. Also, there's some like actual cave art on the walls there.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's cool.
Like that's actually like in Tunisia, I think. There is no way he made that sound on his own.
Yeah, I never understood that. Like, I get it's retconned being like some forced scream or something.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. Throw
also,
that
him just waving his arms around.
yeah, it's so sloppy. I love it. Also, the retcon of that being a force heal and it's not like him just sticking his hand on his head. So contrived.
Oh, yeah, music cue.
Hello there.
Oh, Alec Guinness looks good.
Oh, yeah.
I hope I can look that good when I'm old.
He looks like a newborn chick. His hair. It's so disheveled. I love it, though. Where am I?
Honestly, Alex Guinness's character in Star Wars looks like he should be in Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah, he's just...
Like he's just some sort of wizard you come across.
What is your favorite color? See, the rock's not even in that other shot.
Is it there, though?
No, not in some of these other shots. Like, the special edition changes are, like... They're not thought out. Like, they're so lazy. Also, the whole Obi-Wan, old Ben, like, it's such,
Yeah.
That's so silly in retrospect.
I think Alec Guinness did some good facial acting, though. Just
Oh, yeah, you can...
in the way he looks like he's thinking about his past.
He builds so much backstory into something that doesn't have backstory. You know, like, he can make it seem like, when he's talking about, like, Darth Vader later, that, like, the actual retcons of him being, like, his father, like, it actually works.
Yeah.
Because of how much
Alec Guinness
gravitas he has.
carried some of this.
Oh, he is, like, one of the 3, like, good actors in this movie.
Mark Hamill's all right.
Okay, well, yeah, they're all good actors.
Not his best performance in the world, but he's also pretty young here.
Yeah, this is an early film for him. He didn't do a lot of movies, really.
I mean, isn't this like Harrison Ford's film debut?
No, he's in American Graffiti and a couple other things before this. But this is, like, what made him a star. Even though he probably would rather have not done it. Same with Alec Guinness. He's like, I don't like that everyone just knows me as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, there's a really funny, like interview with him, and he was, like, talking about how this, like, person had seen Star Wars, like, so many times, and he's like, do me a favor and never watch it ever again. It's like, wow, okay.
I mean, I will say I don't really know him from anything else, but...
Well, he did a lot of, like, other movies, but, like...
Isn't he a big, like, stage actor?
Yeah, he did a lot of theater, he did a lot of stuff like that. But a lot of his movies were, like, before Star Wars.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
he didn't
he's
do a
pretty
whole lot
old.
after it.
He's been an actor for a while. He didn't
Yeah.
just start acting.
Mm.
I think Ewan McGregor did a good job of, like, matching his mannerisms.
Yeah, he did a really good job.
Just in the
matching that.
hands and the playing with his beard.
Yeah. Before the dark times. Before the Empire. Also, this scene is, like, recut and reshuffled so much. Like,
Yeah.
C-3PO keeps turning himself off and on. Like, there's no continuity at all. Like, I love the work of, like, Marshall Lucas and the other editors. They made this movie work, but it is so slapdash.
Sometimes you gotta just edit and ignore continuity.
Yeah, you can. And it works. Like, this movie gets
You
away
can
with
ignore continuity if it serves the story.
Yeah.
Because most of the time, people aren't necessarily gonna, like, notice instantly. It's only when weirdos like
us,
Star Wars people go back and watch the movie
thousands
1,000
of
times.
Yeah. And then Alec Guinness just looks down on us in
Yeah,
shame.
He looks down and it's, oh, Luke, get a life.
Get a life, Luke. Stop watching Star Wars and go bang some chicks.
Oh yeah, look at those effects.
And you
Delicious.
need to see the reflection of light in his eyes because they had an actual illuminated stick. Which they didn't really do for the other films that much.
It doesn't work super well when it points head on. They light all the lightsabers now in films.
Oh, yeah. But back then...
But for, I think 1 through 3, they didn't at all. Like, all the lighting they do from it is composited.
Well, in these movies, they had... I know at least in A New Hope, they had, like, reflective material on it that they shone light on so it would reflect back at the actors.
No, that I know, but I'm saying for episodes 1, 2, 3, I think most of the lightsaber light is just composited in VFX.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, yeah. They just have, like, actual sticks they were just wailing on each other with.
Basically. I don't know. I have mixed opinions on the way the lightsabers have looked over the years. Because I really like the colors of the original trilogy, but I like the, I don't know, the action of the prequels.
I like the prequel ones too, and the color, and they're very consistent.
Yeah.
In the prequels, I don't really like the sequels how they look because they're weirdly colored and they're
Yeah, the sequels, I don't know. The sequels didn't handle lightsabers
they're almost
well.
too saturated. Yeah, I agree.
And everyone gets a freaking lightsaber nowadays. Lightsabers were cool. It meant something. Now they just give it to any Joe Schmo who apparently everyone is now force sensitive.
Well, I mean, in the next movie, Harrison Ford's gonna pick up a lightsaber and cut open an animal. So like, I think anyone could just use them, but
Yeah, but it's not about using them, it's about earning them.
yeah, I guess so. Earning them and not burying them in the desert.
Yeah, going to, the one place where the entire family really suffered
Yeah,
as poor farmers and slaves.
slaves. Yeah,
That's really where you want to, go to honor these people.
Yeah. This is where the mother of Darth Vader got kidnapped and sold into slavery.
Yeah, and then he watched die, and where he went, murdered an entire village.
Also, it's kind of funny that, like, in retrospect, like, around, like, the Owen and Beru Lars' homestead, there's just a body buried there. Like, there's a couple of them from, like, Attack of the Clones. They just buried people there.
Yeah.
There's no graves in this movie. You don't see them.
Well, you got to think, though, over the years, they probably are like, I don't know. But, like, I guess that's supposed to be his... I guess his dad is buried there, but it's not his mom.
No.
Like, because Shmi is his step-mom.
Well, no, Shmi is his actual, like, is Anakin's mom.
No, but I'm saying for Uncle Owen.
Oh, for Uncle, yeah.
Like,
He
Uncle
just
Owen...
doesn't care. He just dug her up and just chucked her into the Junlin wastes.
Yeah, like, Uncle Owen is just like, I'm not related to this lady.
This is my one-legged dad's, like, new wife. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
they're
know.
not even related. It's not even really his uncle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I feel like that was something that just is not handled well. Like, he's like, it just, I don't know. They're not even
It's
related.
so convoluted. It's like, oh, this is, like, Anakin's step brother. Like,
Yeah.
and that's how they're related. Not the easy solution that would have been just like, oh, they have a different name.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, yeah. That guy has a great voice.
Oh, he's fantastic, yeah. And that's his actual voice, too.
Oh, yeah, good old Tarkin face.
Yeah. The great Peter Cushing.
Also, the retcon that the guy in the kind of white there is Wolf, Yularen.
Oh, it's fantastic, because he's, like, just a very distinguished-looking extra.
And that the empty chair is supposed to be apparently Krennic, but Krennic died.
he got murked.
Like, he literally died days before this.
Yeah, it's been like
took
3
place.
days, and the guy was, like, incinerated.
Yeah, he blows up on the freaking building.
Yeah, a major, like, Imperial outpost was destroyed by themselves. They just don't acknowledge it.
Because, yeah, that's set, what, like a handful of days before this point?
Before this, yeah, at most, like, 2 or 3 days.
Because based on the ending of Rogue One, Darth Vader's actively pursuing Leia
Yeah.
as they just got away.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't really make sense. I also think that's something, too, they didn't really handle well, is that Darth Vader shows up there. As epic as that scene is.
Yeah, it's
But she's meant to, like, actually have, the cover of, like, oh, I'm just a diplomat. He's like, no, I watched you escape.
I killed, like, 7 or 8 guys. Like, cut through... They got matching outfits, dude. These
Yeah,
are your
like, it's
people.
just, you literally just saw me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know how long apart that's meant to be that, like, oh, they escaped versus him finding them.
Yeah.
But it has to be pretty close together, assumably.
It's very close, yeah.
I also like that Tarkin just shits on the Force.
He just doesn't care.
No one has cheekbones like that anymore.
Yeah, no, there are no more emaciated actors these days. Oh, all the poor Jawas. Also, I love how the stormtroopers just, like, trash the place. It wasn't enough to just kill them, they just chucked the things everywhere.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, the way... I feel
Also,
like,
you would assume that they also killed all the droids on board.
presumably.
Because, like, wouldn't they be able to be like, oh no, it was the Empire. It wasn't the Sand People.
Yeah, but I guess who's gonna believe a droid? It's not like there's a lot of droid rights in Star Wars.
They probably just escaped. They're just wandering the desert.
They probably just get picked up by other Jawas.
Probably, yeah.
Like, these Jawas probably just get looted by another set of Jawas later on. They're like, oh, free sandcrawler. Don't mind if I do.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, this is a major shakeup in the politics of Tatooine.
It's too dangerous. He's too dangerous to be left alive. Honestly, the practical effect of the speeder is pretty good, although the actual cockpit size of the speeder makes no sense.
Yeah. They've also kind of redone some of the effects below it, because there are some shots in the original film that it's like, this is just Vaseline covering the tires. Like, this isn't much. Also, I love how gory the original Star Wars movie is. Like, there's just these skeletons here.
Yeah, it's pretty dark.
Yeah. They're charred and they got, like, juice coming off them, you know? Like, you wouldn't see this shot in any other Star Wars movie.
Oh, man, look at that. Oh.
Like, there's viscera.
The location of the corpses don't even really make sense.
Yeah, like, how did that
And that they're that charred.
Yeah, like, what? I know some people have tried to retcon it that, like...
Boba Fett did it?
Boba Fett did it, and that's why he's like, no disintegrations. I think that's only a fan thing, though. I don't think that's any official thing.
That's an awesome shot, though.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, yeah, TIE Fighters. Death Star.
I think those TIE Fighters are special edition editions.
I don't mind it.
I don't mind some of the shots of the ships, but, like, they didn't need to replace every single one of them. Like, it's a bit egregious sometimes.
Carrie Fisher looks so young.
Well, she's only, like, I think 19 and then they filmed this.
I think, did they redo the droid ball guy? No,
I think
not
it's
that
still
shot.
the original one. There's a little big dent in it.
I mean, makes sense. Like,
I would give in before they even stabbed me with a needle. I would just been like, no, I'll tell you everything.
I'll tell you whatever you want to know.
They're on Dantooine.
Honestly, they'd probably torture you anyways.
They probably would, yeah. Vader would just rip out my toenails or whatever.
C-3PO just putting all the bodies into a pile makes no sense. Like, why are they burning them?
I don't know. It's
like, what?
Why did it with Qui-Gon? They're doing it with the Jawas. Like,
but
why was tradition?
Why did Obi-Wan go? Yeah, okay. C-3PO, gather up all the Jawa corpses and chuck them into a big pyre.
Also,
but they're not even actively like burning anything with them. They're just burning the corpses.
Yeah, how do they start that fire?
Yeah, exactly. Is it the Jawas are just inherently flammable?
Obi-Wan took out his little like pocket flask and just dumped it on there.
It's just like I don't know. They're showing some sort of respect for the dead, but it seems inherently not respectful.
Well, I don't know.
Also,
this is like a Jedi burial custom. Like, why is Obi-Wan imposing this on the Jawas?
Why did they stop there? That's also what doesn't make sense.
Yeah, they're just like, let's go at the highest possible like peak.
It is a sick shot, though.
Oh, it's great. But then they're gonna spend like half a day traveling there.
Yeah,
down this valley and.
Oh yeah, look at those things. That ages well. Let's see, the behind of that has to be like that has to be comped in.
This is atrocious looking.
That's also definitely comped in.
All this, I don't think any of this shot is.
C-3PO there does not look. None of this looks
this
real.
Looks like a PlayStation game. Like
it does kind of look
like a PS1 game.
Yeah, it looks like video games now. It doesn't add anything.
This is like the original Battlefront.
He really.
Also, it just completely ruins the tone of Obi-Wan being like, "Oh, this is a dreadful place, scum and villainy," and it's just cartoons when they arrive.
It really doesn't match.
Look at this. This covers the entire shot. Like the main characters are there, and you're covering it with a giant like dinosaur.
It's just ass.
Like I got this droid walks in front of it too, but like that is too much.
Yeah, it doesn't work. You don't need identification. The way
here's some distracting thing to go flying by.
Yeah, that's also unnecessary. It doesn't add to the story.
No, it detracts from it. It makes it worse. Move along. Move along. Get out of here. Come on. Like, what is it?
Yeah, what is that? If anything, they should revisit again to just redo those effects.
Well, they did with the Jabba the Hutt when they did the Blu-rays because it looked so dated. Like, it looked worse.
These just look terrible.
This is awful. I hate this.
Yeah, like why is that there in the background? It doesn't work. The speeder looks too small. It needs to be slightly bigger.
Well, yeah, they got C-3PO like holding on for dear life behind it.
Yeah, especially given how fast that thing probably is supposed to be going. C-3PO is probably about to just fall.
I'd love to see like a behind the scenes shots, like how many times like Anthony Daniels just ate shit falling off that thing. Oh my!
Oh man.
Oh, there's like an actual like African background actor there.
Yeah, those are rare. Look at him go!
Look at him go!
One of the only black people in Star Wars.
Oh, there's two more. Which I think is fair enough because they filmed in Tunisia. They should probably have some involvement.
I do really like the retcon though of the big like ice guys, like one of them being there.
Yeah.
I can't think what their planet is, but they're like Hoth Light.
Yeah, Off-Light. Yeah.
There's so many things in here that just become relevant later on, like even just alien designs and things like that.
Well, it's just like foundational to Star Wars. Although some of the designs they just completely abandoned. They're like, we're never touching this.
Like, look at that guy. That's like a Batman. That's just a literal devil.
That's Satan.
Also, I'm upset they removed jizz music from the Star Wars. Like, why'd they have to rename it?
Well, I don't know, Will.
It's just jizz.
Yeah.
Also, what is their band called again? I know there's like the max
modes.
Yeah.
Also, just some of these actors were like just hired because they were ugly looking. Like specifically, like there was like actual like job listings for what they used to call uglies, and they just put these prosthetics on them to make them look even.
Should have put you in there, Steve. That could have been you. Look at him.
That guy's in a Michael Jackson music video.
Really?
Yeah. There's like one of like it's like a VFX test where it's like motion. It's like going between these different faces and like merging.
I actually really like how this is shot and looks. I want to figure out how to get something to shoot digitally to look like old Star Wars. Because, like, just the softness, the colors, it just looks really nice.
Yeah. There was a movie I watched recently, The Holdover. And
Even
it had
the
a real
lighting.
70s look.
Like
but
the
that's like the only
lighting
thing I've
of
seen
this.
recently that's done it. Which also it's a great movie plug.
Where you get kind of the lighting of, like, the natural idea that they have, like, this kind of ceiling window, so... He doesn't like you.
I don't like you either. He's dubbed over, too.
Look at that pig man.
He had, like, this, like, British accent in the original one. I don't like you. He doesn't like you either.
I think that's probably a good choice. Also, the fact that they show up in Rogue One, too, for no reason.
Yeah, no reason at all.
Or no, is it Solo? They're in Rogue One.
They're in Rogue One.
Yeah,
would have it made more sense if they were in Solo, to be honest. Cut this guy's hand off.
And the blood. Like,
there's a alternate shot of his like decapitated head just spewing blood. Yeah, I gotta show you that after.
I do like the consistency of Star Wars, that whenever someone breaks out a lightsaber, mutilates someone, everyone watch, and then everyone goes back to their drink.
Yeah, it just doesn't matter. Like, this is everyday stuff.
They're like, yeah, whatever.
Like Ben Kenobi on a pub crawl just kills like 5 guys.
They're like, I've
weekly.
seen this man before.
This is a daily occurrence. We didn't need the CGI guy getting off.
Yeah, the CGI guy looks rough.
Yeah,
he doesn't even look like he's actually on the ground, and the way he's moving,
it's way too smooth almost. It's like a shot in a different frame rate or something. You know, it's bizarre.
The band has such a good look.
Well, yeah, they're like these weird like gray aliens. You know?
Oh, look at that! That's a handsome man right there. Mm-hmm. Chewbacca too, like he looks so good.
Yeah,
like, the actual costume of Chewbacca is essentially flawless.
It's really good. Like it's
like there's no gaps, there's no seams. You're just a hairy man. Like you don't like. There's not even like uncanny valley. It just looks like a real creature that's just out there.
Yeah, and like Peter Mayhew has these really expressive eyes. Like he doesn't get to show off much, but he conveys a lot, especially in like some of the later films, and even in like the what am I saying? The Force Awakens when he is in that. Like you can tell it's him. Like it's there's something about him.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but the lighting. I have not watched this movie recently, especially not since I've done so much film school. But god damn, this looks good.
Oh, it's a beautiful movie.
Like just the lighting, the softness, the colors,
the glowing cube on the table.
Hey, that's practical light. You got to use practicals.
Yeah, I love it.
Or the backlight behind Harrison Ford there, that looks good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the light like really focuses your attention.
Like, look at that.
It's not distracting.
Like you get the nice like silhouettes of the background actors, but you still get the nice natural looking light of that kind of skylight from the middle of the bar.
Yeah.
It's a good setup. I don't know. I want to recreate this now somehow.
Yeah, we'll just remake Star Wars.
That would be really funny.
It's not like anyone's ever tried that before.
He's like, hey,
failed miserably.
I mean, Zack Snyder just did with that Netflix film. I don't know about that. I tried to watch 15 minutes of that, and I was like, nope.
Yeah, that wasn't happening, Will.
I tried. Oh, look at that pig man!
That's Snaggletooth, Will. He's in the holiday special.
Oh man,
I love that Obi-Wan just took his hands out of his sleeves, like for no reason.
Yeah, why?
He's like,
oh, look at him. Guido is here.
Chewbacca just abandons Han Solo.
Why does Guido look so wet? Like, why does he look damp?
Yeah, I don't know. I love his fingers are like just floppy.
Yeah, they're so long. His fingers look incredibly impractical.
I love the voice too as well. It's really good, and I love the way the mask moves, where it's like when he was like actually speaking, like when they filmed it, it was like just English words, but when it's like alien language, it makes it more believable.
Yeah. Han definitely shot first.
Oh, Han just shot. There was no first, Will.
Yeah, that's true. He just like kills him. Which, within character, given the fact that they're always like, hey, you owe Jabba a ton of money. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he's going to kill whoever's coming after him. Yeah. How do you think he stayed out this long? It's just, yeah.
They also changed the hands for this shot. The weird floppy ones.
The lighting, too.
I hate that new addition. It makes it even worse. Where
Yeah,
it's like, it's not just like, over my dead body. And he's just like, McClunky.
McClunky.
That's what he says. It's just they added in one shot of him just saying that. There's no subtitle. You don't even get to know what it means. He just says it, and then he gets shot.
Did someone ever?
It doesn't even sound like him either. It's just McClunky.
Did they ever translate it?
I think it's something from the Phantom Menace.
Is there something
that, like Sebulba says?
Wikipedia it? Where
I'm sure the Wikipedia, those nerds over at the Wikipedia. Those basement dwellers. I'm sure they have 100 different translations. There's like some Tolkien-esque like dictionary.
Oh man,
I love this movie.
I probably haven't watched this film in over 10 years.
There's another CGI edition.
Or maybe not 10 years. I'm sure I watched it recently enough, but I do not remember it looking so good.
Yeah.
Aside from the weird effects.
As flawed as it is in this bastardized version, it is still a beautiful movie. And it still holds up. It's not like Return of the Jedi where there's like a music video in the middle of it.
Well, I know too, like a lot of this is remastered and rescanned and like colors slightly adjusted and things like that, but they really, I would say this does look better in certain ways.
It does, yeah, but you also get that same way from some fan restorations.
Also true.
Like I have access to some bootlegs, and they have...
Steve can't be saying that. Disney will come after you. You'll want to cut that. Cut it.
Oh, this guy here, his voice is just remixed John Wayne lines from
What?
old cowboy movies. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you can't tell, but when he's like just making those weird
I
noises,
forgot about this big-ass long-nosed guy.
Oh, here we go, Will. The worst shot in the whole movie. I wish they had kept that fat Irish guy.
For the most part, a lot of the stuff to do with the special edition doesn't bother me, except this. It's a terrible story pacing thing. Jabba just looks awful. It doesn't even look like it's
They just added Boba Fett in there too, by the way.
It doesn't even look like Phantom Menace Boba Fett. It doesn't look like the original trilogy Boba, or not. It doesn't look like Phantom Menace Jabba. It doesn't look like original trilogy Jabba.
Yeah,
it looks like Jabba's weird CGI cousin ripped from the Clone Wars TV show. It's just, I don't know. Also, the continuity of where Chewie is makes no sense.
Yeah, he just bounces around this whole thing.
Because
also, the step on the tail is so awful because they had to like mat Harrison Ford up and over it.
Also, there's no way Jabba would be okay with him stepping on him.
Yeah, he'd just been, kill this guy.
Yeah,
just kill him. I don't care anymore.
They already want to kill him because of how much money he owes him. Like, he probably would just be like, that's too disrespectful. Also, if he owes him so much money, why didn't they just take his ship?
Yeah, just take
I feel like a ship is probably worth a good amount of money, even if the Millennium Falcon, within the context of Star Wars, is supposed to be just a garbage ship.
Yeah.
But I feel like if he owes you so much money, especially if he owes you enough money that Jabba's like, okay, pay up now.
I also don't believe George Lucas when he was talking about this scene where he's like, I always intended to replace Declan Mulholland with a Jabba the Hutt monster. I don't believe him because the way they shot it, it would have been a nightmare to mat this creature over top of Harrison Ford going around him and touching him. And like, there was no way by the time they actually shot that he was going to go through with that plan. Like, I think George Lucas lies.
Yeah, it doesn't. That scene, just the pace.
It ruins the introduction of the Falcon too.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, they show it like 5 seconds before this.
Yeah, the pacing of that scene just really ruins it for me.
And it's just it's dialogue that's not needed. It's exposition from.
And two, he just killed Guido.
Yeah.
Like no one's like.
But I mean, there's like 5 or 6 of those guys in this movie. Like, they use that costume a lot.
Yeah, but still, Guido was like, "Oh, I'm here because of Jabba."
McClunky.
And he kills him. And then Jabba just shows up anyways. Why'd you send Guido in?
I think he actually does mention him in the original dialogue. He's like, why did you kill poor Guido there?
You have to fry poor Guido.
Also, I totally forgot about that like big-ass elephant nose guy.
Yeah.
I remember him being annoying in the Lego Star Wars game where you have to like fight him or something.
He's like a boss fight.
Yeah.
Like, why? Shall we get us out of here?
Oh, the look of the Falcon is good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's so... There's like pots and pans on that counter there. That's
Yeah,
bouncing
why
up
are
and
you looking at bouncing?
down.
See, like that has to be recomped.
Oh, that's a new CGI ship. Same with that. Also, there's a guy behind them.
Yeah,
there.
I saw that guy
This is in
walk
green.
by.
George wasn't just like, yeah, we can keep that in.
Yeah, I'm surprised no one's fixed that since. Like,
Yeah.
usually they go back and fix things like that.
I'm pretty
especially
sure-
since they have gone back and fixed a lot of this
I'm pretty
movie.
sure that's Obi-Wan Kenobi. Because there's, like, the way these shots were cut, it's different than what it actually ended up being. Because originally them buckling up in their seatbelts was supposed to happen when they went into hyperspace or whatever. So they're moving around back and forth between them in this, where they come up there. Like, the shots are all out of order from what they filmed.
Why does Luke look so small compared to them there?
Well, have you heard of the small Luke theory?
No?
There are some shots in Star Wars where Mark Hamill looks shorter in context. And so there's a whole fan theory. It's not really serious, but people are like, there is a separate Luke Skywalker in this movie going around. In some of the shots, it's a different person. It's so ridiculous, but I love that kind of nonsense.
That's pretty funny.
Mhm.
Even the lighting in the Falcon looks really good.
There's a funny outtake of that where Harrison Ford, instead of like saying bouncing into a supernova, he said bounces into a supermarket.
There's a lot of really good practical lights. I never paid this much attention to Star Wars as a child, but now that my life has been ruined watching films,
Yeah.
there's so many good practicals.
Mm-hmm. This is one of the few shots where you get to see Peter Cushing's shoes because they didn't fit him. And he wore slippers for most of these other shots.
I just don't get why they didn't make him a new pair of boots.
They were so strapped for cash, Will.
Okay, but like your main actor, you can't just take a pair of boots from someone else.
And it's not like you couldn't have just wore regular shoes because some of them, the Imperial officers, if you look, they have their boots untucked.
Yeah,
Like you could just wear shoes. It wouldn't have made a difference.
I know. There's some choices here.
He's like, I have famously large feet.
They also really make Vader in this film a lot less menacing in a way than
He just stands there.
Tarkin at the start.
Yeah.
Like, it really shows Tarkin is way more in charge here.
Well, yeah.
Which, in the context, I guess, of like the Imperial hierarchy is meant to be.
But it's also like Peter Cushing, famous horror actor, versus
Yeah.
David Prowse standing there not moving. Like he's not doing anything.
True, but still.
Well, except being a little bit too touchy-feely with his daughter there, but...
Yeah, well...
Also, I love these like technicians in the background with their helmets like over their eyes.
Yeah, I never understood that
They
part
look
of
so
it.
stupid. But I love it. I just love this stuff.
How do they get anything done? You can't see shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's some menacing Peter Cushing. Look at him.
He's like looming over her like a vulture.
I saw something talked about is like how to create a really good villain.
Mm-hmm.
Is when filming, have the villain just really invade the character's personal space.
Yeah.
Because it's something that makes people uncomfortable.
For good reason.
Well, obviously, but like you see just how close he got to her there.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes it a lot more uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I think in Iron Man, I'm totally blanking on. Is it Jeff
Like I didn't
Bridges?
even have a glove on.
Is it Jeff Bridges plays the main villain in Iron Man?
I don't think it's Jeff Bridges.
Is it not Jeff Bridges?
I don't know, man.
Let me consult
It's
Google.
been a while since I looked at the credits of Iron Man. Actually, it's been a while since I've seen Iron Man.
Iron Man cast. Yeah, it is Jeff Bridges.
Okay,
I was
I was
right.
wrong.
I saw someone talking about Jeff Bridges acting in one of the scenes where he really invades the personal space of Gwyneth Paltrow and how much more menacing it makes that scene.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that he just is closer to her than would be normal.
Yeah.
And it's something that I was like, okay, that's good knowledge to know. And that there with Tarkin was a good example of where that works. Good old hollow chess.
Yeah. You gotta just love the stop motion stuff. Like, it's so beautiful.
Hollow chess is something that just like randomly pops up every once in a while.
Yeah.
Also, isn't the scene that it keeps cutting to of R2-D2 just the exact same scene over and over and over again?
Yeah, it's not even from the Falcon, it's from the Death Star.
Yeah, like they just keep cutting to the shot of him.
Yeah. Also, Harrison Ford's shirt is really low cut.
Yeah, he's showing some chest.
That's
the way Chewie's just like, ooh, that's right, I'm going to kill you if you win.
I will rip you to shreds.
You don't even really notice that the context of R2 is the wrong scene.
No, it's the focus is so much on the characters, not the background. And it's close enough, the background is a close enough match that it works.
Also, did Obi-Wan bring the training stuff with him?
I don't think he has
just
pocket. Also, Harrison Ford just has like a bowl of cereal.
Yeah, but like, where did they get the training stuff? Is it just on the Falcon by chance?
I always assumed so. Like, I didn't think Obi-Wan put it in his pocket.
Yeah, wouldn't have made sense if he did. Like, I guess I could see that they'd have the little floaty training droid guy, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It still seemed bizarre to me.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Harrison Ford, just too dapper.
He's so charming. And rugged and handsome. And manly.
Look at that big ass stain on his robes. Did you see that?
Oh, he's filthy.
It's the one pair of clothes he owns.
Yeah, he poured a bowl of soup on there in 17 BBY and never changed.
Although, actually, of anyone that does get to change clothes, it is him, because he goes from wearing a brown robe to a light-colored robe.
No, he just puts on an extra layer.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, he's really the only character that changes clothes.
Well, Luke has a poncho he puts on.
Yeah, I guess he does have poncho.
And they do change their clothes at the end of the movie. Like, Harrison Ford gets a new shirt, and Luke gets that stupid yellow jacket.
I like the yellow jacket.
I do like it, too.
That's
it's
a cool
underused.
jacket.
I wish that was in The Empire Strikes Back. Like, if Luke was just wearing that like yellow jacket.
There's so many details in the Millennium Falcon that just are essentially meaningless.
Yeah,
like there's just so many control panels and that are lit up and flashing, and
they're so integral to the look of Star Wars too.
I know,
like, this stuff is copied.
But I feel like it's not even transferred to today well.
No, not particularly.
Like
no.
I feel like they just, I don't know. I feel like a lot of Star Wars misses its mark. Even say the Millennium Falcon nowadays. Like you look back at how it looks now, it's just almost even more clean than it was there.
Also, I was astonished to find out that this guy, not Tarkin, obviously, this other Imperial guy was alive up until like 4 or 5 years ago.
R.I.P. random Imperial guy.
Because he looks so old in this movie.
Yeah, he does look old. Actually,
like, he looks older than Tarkin. It's the white hair. He's got like some sort of like Steve Martin kind of look to him.
Yeah, Steve Martin.
I wish Steve Martin was in Star Wars.
Steve Martin could fit in Star Wars. He's like a serious character.
Yeah, he could be like Greg Proops. Just like some random celebrity that's just in the background.
Ooh, that's a lot of damage.
Look at Quadranero's power coupling.
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Jabba the Hutt.
Oh. I freaking hate that scene, but it's so good.
Oh, you gotta love the pod racing scene.
The asteroids in this shot look terrible.
I think one of them's a shoe.
Well, yeah.
Or that might be the Empire Strikes Back.
I know they put a lot of random hidden objects.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no!
Oh no!
The Empire?
How did it get all the way out here? Where's the planet we're supposed to be going to?
That's no moon.
I like how Han Solo is just dead set on killing this guy.
Yeah, he's
like Obi-Wan's like, oh, just let him go. Quit following him. And he's like, no, I'm gonna kill this guy. Like, they're not gonna intercept it. Like, what are they gonna do? Like,
what are they gonna take him back? You can't board the TIE fighter.
Yeah, no, not from the Millennium Falcon. No.
I do love the sound design of the TIE fighters. Like, that's so iconic.
Oh, it's such a loud and like
just the
unique sound. Yeah. That's no moon.
That's no mood.
It's a space station.
Is it Family Guy that made a joke on the "That's no moon" thing?
I think you're thinking of the bad lip reading music video.
No, maybe. That's no melon.
But the Family Guy parodies are quite foundational to us, I think. As well as all those like Lego parodies from YouTube.
The Lego Star Wars. That's like OG YouTube to me.
Yeah.
Is like really shit Lego stop motion.
Yeah.
Like you look at even the stuff that people make now with like Lego stop motion, it's not the same.
No.
Like it's just shot on like camcorders and like digicams.
Yeah, stuff that's like 10 pixels high by 20 pixels wide. And
I don't know where it would be, but I think I created a Lego stop motion video and uploaded it to YouTube that would probably be out there somewhere in the YouTube verse.
In the ether, yeah.
Like I don't know what channel it would be on. I don't know what the video would be called. But I do
that.
know that I've made a Lego stop motion video. Maybe it didn't even make it to YouTube. I have no idea.
I know I tried before, but it never worked out. I'd probably love to do it again. Like I probably have enough Lego to do it. Although what I would like to do is take the radio drama, because it is different.
Oh, look at that!
And just oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, it's like matte painting, live action stuff, and model put together to make that shot.
Yeah, I forgot about the matte paintings in Star Wars.
They're beautiful. Too bad George Lucas erased most of them.
Can you still buy the matte paintings? Like, I'm sure they're worth stupid amounts of money, but like, are they even acquirable?
I'm sure some of them exist.
Like, look at that.
That
one's matte painting.
Glass, I think is the issue. I don't think any of them like were destroyed intentionally. I don't think, but
no. But I'm just even saying, like, oh, let's say I wanted to get one and hang it up on my wall. I don't even think that's really a thing you can easily do.
No. Also, this guy's dubbed over by Reverend Lovejoy from The Simpsons. That sounds like rock and or roll. Yeah, it's that same voice actor. It's funny how people have their like career starts in like this movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of famous people in this film.
Mm-hmm.
Although I feel like a lot of these people are famous because they were in Star Wars.
Partly, yeah.
Also, the fact that
Why does this guy have such a massive gun for like sweeping this ship? Like it's
yeah,
so impractical.
he does have such a big gun.
He's
also, the fact that this just works for them.
Yeah, they just hide in the floor. I love how those three of them share a space, and Obi-Wan just has his own.
Yeah.
like Alec Guinness was just like, I am not going that close to this tall, hairy man.
Harrison Ford smells too bad.
He smells like cheap cologne.
Although my Alec Guinness is just turning into Michael Caine.
You know, I was in Star Wars.
My name is Michael Caine.
My name is Michael Caine.
And I
was Obi-Wan Ben Larry Kenobi.
You know what? I'd watch that.
Michael Caine is Obi-Wan, yeah. That's the only recast I would appreciate.
What box are they even bringing on?
It's to scan the ship or something.
You don't have a smaller scanner?
Nah, Will. They got rid of all the cool technology after the prequels ended.
That's true.
Everything has to be like wires and plugs and giant boxes and things.
I saw something too that talked about like technology of Star Wars and why it kind of looks the way it does, and it's because the technology of the future is based on the technology of the present.
Yeah.
So that's why there's like a lot of like knobs and buttons and kind of like shitty looking screens.
TV screens. And
yeah, like because at the time, like that's big. That's a big deal.
Yeah, it's like cutting edge stuff. It's like in the original Star Trek when they have those little like Windex spray bottles, and it's like these aren't even on the market yet. Now they're like so ubiquitous.
Yeah, I don't like. It's just it makes sense though that it's done that way.
Yeah, 100%. But it also makes like going back in time in your franchise difficult.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Because it makes the technology seem different. Like it makes it look too new, you know?
Actually, I kind of wanted to buy a CRT TV just to have like a little one.
Yeah, that'd be nice to have.
Because like you can get some actually like really high quality ones that have some like functionality built in. Like I saw someone built like a Wii meets GameCube into one that was really cool.
Yeah, they're really big in like retro gaming now.
Well, it's because
like CRT.
I saw
that's what they were like designed. Like those games are designed for.
Well, yeah, I saw a reasoning behind it. It's because like the way that the TV outputs the pixels right, it changes how the graphics look because you get the RGB tiny little pixel values
Yeah, and
when
there's
you
the
look really
lines as
close.
well on it. Yeah.
So then you versus when you look at it normally, like let's say there's like a character that's like all blue, it'll look kind of colored and different
Yeah.
versus just being blue pixels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just want to get a little CRT TV that I can just stick on my desk that just plays random movies on loop. And I saw someone at a rental house when I was in Toronto, and they had one on their desk. And I was like, that's freaking amazing. Like, it was literally like maybe like a 6x6 inch screen. But I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, you just have Star Wars playing on it or something.
You just pop in a VHS tape and just let it run.
Damn, that door came down fast. Did you see that?
Cuss Luke Skywalker. I just don't have a face anymore. Just gonna warn right off. There's a funny outtake of Harrison Ford leaning up against Peter Mayhew and he just falls over.
Really?
Yeah. And it's shot from like two different angles.
So they have a lot of coverage of him just eating shit?
There's like the actual camera that they're filming with. And then there's like, some guy was like doing a documentary or something. Like there's like the smaller one, it's like, 4x3.
Yeah.
Like behind the scenes kind of camera. And it just shows the alternate angle of him falling over.
Look at those crushed blacks. There's some blue in those blacks.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a high contrast shot there too. Ooh, that's not looking so good.
Although you gotta say the red and the black.
Yeah, the red and the black.
Gold.
It does look nice. The look of Star Wars really captures their skin tones quite well.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of built into the color of everything. Han Solo in his gamer chair.
Look at the bottom of their shoes.
Yeah, there's no traction at all.
There's no traction on those shoes. Like, I'm sure for the floors of the Death Star, that's fine. But, like, you go outside in those things, you were eating shit.
Yeah, those are the stormtroopers on Tatooine are just...
Yeah, that's why they're so dirty. It's because they got no traction. Their shoes are just
down,
flat. Man, trying to walk in flat shoes on sand, you're getting nowhere.
Yeah, like tap shoes in the desert.
Yeah, I would imagine he probably would not be that impressed by the amount of money he would get.
Yeah.
Especially given his presumable debt to Jabba.
Yeah, his immense debt. Yeah, so he just goes to, like, arrest Chewbacca, which is...
I just don't get... Like. Why wouldn't he say something? He's like, okay, Chewie, here's the plan.
Yeah, I'm going to lock you up. Yeah, of course he says no.
Chewie's not into that BDSM stuff.
Yeah.
C-3PO plays such more of a role in this film than really a lot of the other ones.
Than pretty much any other film except, like, The Rise of Skywalker. Which we shall never name again. Because it's such a disaster of a film.
Although, I guess he does do a good amount in Empire.
Yeah, these are the guys with the shoes untucked.
Yeah, like...
They look so sloppy. Like, it doesn't look like they're part of the Empire, you know?
You couldn't get some shoes for Tarkin?
Yeah. Also, Admiral Lauren walks by and he's got a hat on. Where is
Does he?
Yeah, watch. See, here he comes.
Oh, yeah, look at him.
And some other random
distinguished gentleman.
He's got a mustache. This guy, I don't even know what's going on with his costume. Like, it's like Inside Out or something.
He doesn't even have any, like, ranking badges or anything.
Yeah, these are just, like, random dudes.
But you gotta think, though, there's, like, thousands of people on this ship.
Yeah.
Like, that, or presumably even, like, they could have their families on the Death Star, and, like, all sorts
Well,
of
I doubt
things.
it, but I'm sure some of these people are in relationships with each other.
Yeah, presumably.
Also, Obi-Wan sneaking around is the most unconvincing thing in this whole movie.
Yeah, well, you know.
There's, like, droids that walk past him, and he just is like, they don't say anything, they don't do anything.
Well, the droids don't care.
Well, they don't care. As we've learned from that short story, all the droids are loyal to the rebellion.
Yeah, that doesn't really make sense.
Also, later when they're sneaking around, they're just walking past people. Like, it doesn't matter. They're facing the wrong way. Also, again, with a giant blaster for some reason.
He looks like someone from high school.
He's the most racist man in the galaxy. That's where you know him from. Yeah, I don't know. He's a little slightly familiar, but
I'm not saying he looks exactly like anyone we went to school with, but he just looks like maybe an amalgamation of multiple different people. If that makes sense.
I love that guy who just keeps his hand behind his back when he pulls the gun. Just pure chaos. But yeah, like I was saying, you can really see the pink in these kind of shots.
Yeah, the like flashes.
Yeah, like that should be more of a white, not a pink.
It's kind of cool though. Like it's like one frame flashes, you know.
Yeah.
Or maybe not one frame. They're a little longer than one frame. Because if they were one frame, we probably wouldn't really see them. But
no, we wouldn't have noticed it.
like you kind of would, but it wouldn't stay as long for us to think about it.
Yeah. Now here's Harrison Ford's most convincing bit of acting. You know, it takes a good actor to play a bad actor, you know?
It takes a good actor to play a good actor that's bad at acting.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or no, it takes a good actor to play a character that's bad at acting.
Yeah, there you go.
Boring conversation anyways.
He's so confused.
I guess that's maybe why they have the tiny Luke theory, because he looks extra small there.
Yeah. Whoa. It's a chick. In space? What? He's got some excellent hair.
Yeah, he does have good hair.
Well, so does Leia, too, but in a different kind of way.
I think what really throws me off, right, is that they're supposed to be twins, right?
Yeah.
But no one is ever like, you guys look alike.
Well, that's because they only decided that in the last movie.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, come on. Someone should have, like, George Lucas claims he had a plan, but I don't think he did.
Well, unless George is really into some sibling stuff, I don't think he planned that.
I mean, I feel like he is into that, though.
I'm not going to speculate.
I will. The neck rolls give him power.
It's the source of his magic. See, there's just some droid back there.
I saw someone, I'm assuming for this fight coming up, someone did like a digital remaster to like improve the fight, and oh my god, it's so sick.
Oh, of like the Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good video.
Because they kind of mixed in both. Although I saw something that Alec Guinness and who played Darth Vader?
David Prowse.
Yeah, I saw something that Alec Guinness and David Prowse had a really hard time not really hitting each other with the lightsabers because they were just too into it.
Yeah, they just break them.
Yeah, they kept breaking them because like they weren't meant to be hit together.
Mm-hmm. Aren't you just looking at the camera?
R2's like, Look at that dent on C-3PO's head.
That explains a few things.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, Lord. Creepy one. Far too, we're going to die.
Far too D2.
Thank you, magic trash can.
Thank you, magic trash can.
For those unaware, we are referencing the All or Nots Star Wars.
Oh, the greatest Star Wars edit of all time.
Probably the best fan dub of anything.
Steve, you're a little loud there on the old levels.
Well, you know what? The people love me. This is my channel, you know? they're used to it. Well, we should probably keep talking about stuff.
Yeah, I've just been distracted by the quality action set piece.
Oh, yes, you're very distracted by this and not adjusting the settings.
Well, yeah, but you're peeking out there, Steve. Look at it.
Down the trash chute. Onto cinder blocks. I think all of these people should have broken their spine.
What I don't get is why they have a trash compactor. Like, why you gotta compact your trash? You're just loosening it into space, anyways. And
Also, what is all this trash? Like,
where is all these random building pieces coming from?
Like industrial like pipes and things.
And second, how did an alien get down in there? Like,
I'm sure there's some secrets of the Lost Cantina novel that's gonna explain this.
Like,
some book written in 1996 when nothing was going on.
Like, why? How did it get there? Why does it live there? How has it not died to the trash compactor?
Yeah, why is it not getting squished?
Because presumably the trash compactor, compacts the whole room.
Yeah. Maybe it's like some sort of weird jellyfish.
And like, they're standing on the ground, so like, it's clearly just in the water right there. They should have pretty easily been able to, get it.
Yeah, the water shouldn't be that deep.
It's really not. Like, it's presumably like right beside them. Mm-hmm. So they could probably pretty easily deal with it. Like, look at that eyeball. What is that?
I can tell you what it looks like. But, yeah.
Or like they can't find Luke, but like all they had to really do is just slightly dig down. Like you're
just start kicking.
Yeah, like you're gonna find him,
Yeah.
Like he can't be that deep. He'd be right there. You can just pull him out.
Yeah. This is where it seems unnecessary, but it is kind of fundamental to the DNA of Star Wars.
Yeah.
These stupid tentacle monsters that I despise, just doing stuff for the sake of it. And yeah, it's interesting. It creates a more like lived-in universe.
I think maybe Han Solo's just not the smartest guy. He doesn't really have object permanence.
Han Solo has no object permanence. You gotta write that into a novel. Han Solo and the Mind Harp of Shrew, or whatever those novels are called. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get. As a kid, this always made sense to me. I'm like, oh yeah, like whatever, it's deep in there. But now thinking about it, it's a pretty small room, and they're standing on the ground, and there's trash presumably piled up in there. There's really only a small area this thing could be, unless it just is the trash.
Trash.
Because presumably it doesn't really make sense.
And you think their legs would be getting crushed by all this trash being pushed around and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
We suspend our disbelief for Star Wars. We give it an exception.
I don't want to suspend my disbelieving.
Well, this is a movie with space wizards. You gotta suspend it a little.
What do you mean they're not real wizards?
You're telling me there's no such thing as the Jedi?
Yeah, you're telling me there's no such thing as the Force?
You're telling me that guy right there with Fox's head is not real? Also, adding that sound effect was so silly.
Yeah, because you don't notice it as it goes.
Yeah, like he's leaning into the meme, which makes it unfunny. I like how they just believe it. They're not even just like.
Well, like, why would they doubt the droids? Like, there's no reason for them to be like, yeah, these are the intruders.
That's true. They don't know like what the people are looking for actually are.
Yeah, like.
Also, it took them a long time to get there. After their people have been like attacked.
It's dead.
Like these guys have some bad response time. Yeah, I believe you.
Like, there's no reason for them to not believe them. They're droids. They're programmed to do whatever they like. Like, there's no reason why you would think.
Yeah, in the Star Wars universe, you wouldn't assume there would be like rogue droids.
Well, especially on the Death Star, which is presumably a secret facility.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Although you'd probably like be wondering why they're so filthy. It's just completely disgusting looking.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Also, yeah, you gotta admire the design work of all R2's little components.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Like, that's iconic in a way that you wouldn't expect it to be. Just weird, like little things turning and. Yeah.
It really saves every character ever that bases are R2 compatible.
Pretty much, yeah. Too bad we couldn't have compatible cables and stuff around here.
Although it does make sense that they'd have a universal droid connection, you know?
Yeah, they're so ubiquitous, You'd have to.
So it's not that it's R2 compatible, it's just that it's droid compatible.
Yeah, I'm sure some of the other droids would have one of those things.
Well, yeah, I think what they're called, like, scomp links.
Yeah, something like that.
If I remember correctly from Jedi Fallen Order. Quality game.
Yeah.
Also, the continuity of how squished they are against, like, where the edge meets against the door is super off.
Yeah, it's all out of whack. Also, I love how Luke is, like, way in the front. They're all just, like, combined together again.
Also, presumably there's multiple track compactors.
Yeah, you'd think. But he did say to turn all of them off on the detention level, so they...
I know, but I still don't get why they'd have a trash compactor in general. Like, wouldn't you just tuck your trash down like some chute that just goes into a big room that then just gets vacuumed out into space?
Well, the Empire is really all about that eco quality.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, why wouldn't you just jet it into space?
I don't know, man. I'm not looking that deep into the lore.
I need the lore. Also, the fact that, like, a tractor beam is just like a giant thing that you can just go turn off.
Yeah, just like 3 switches and it's off.
That doesn't really make sense to me. Or that's something R2 couldn't just disable and then they could leave.
Yeah, Obi-Wan doesn't need to, like, go and do it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I must go over here. I have some errands to run. Yeah, I got a feeling that Obi-Wan had some ulterior motives.
Yeah, you wanted to die.
You wanted to die. I spent 19 years in the desert.
I'm sick of watching this fucker.
I don't want to spend any more time with this young boy.
I'm so sick of watching him sleep.
Also, I love how, like, Leia just gives up on her, like, British accent. She's just, like, halfway through the movie, she's just like, I'm just Carrie Fisher. I'm not doing this anymore.
If anything, it kind of makes sense, though, that, like, in talking to high-ranking
Yeah, it's kind of...
that she would do it.
Yeah, it's like an affectation.
But to just random schmo that came to rescue her?
Yeah, just get this carpet out of my way. It's like, okay.
Leia's been smoking 60 packs a day.
This isn't the sequel trilogy yet.
Carrie Fisher is so funny.
Oh, she's hilarious.
Like, the episode where her and, where Sheldon and James Earl Jones.
Oh, in The Big Bang Theory, yeah.
Yeah. And he goes, "Watch out, Carrie Fisher's crazy, man. We gotta run after we do it."
Yeah.
So he's like, "Okay, ready?" They knock. Then he starts instantly running away. He's like, "Sheldon, come on, we gotta go." Carrie Fisher opens the door with a bat, and she's like, "James, I'm sick of this. I'm gonna get you." Like, he just comes out.
Yeah. Also, there's another funny, like, further on in the scene of that one stormtrooper that's on the ground, just, like, bursting into flames.
What?
Yeah, there's, like, smoke coming out, and then the guys have to go over there to help the stuntman. So he doesn't, like... Also, I don't like this addition, too. They're just standing there.
Yeah, why are they just hanging out?
I don't know, they just added it so there's a whole bunch of stormtroopers, but only, like, 5 of them follow him. Like...
I mean, it makes sense that they all would run after them, but...
Yeah, but there'd be more than this many.
Also, why is there just a random gap, like, with an open door?
I don't know, man.
Like, that's how you die. And it's a waste of space within the Death Star.
Yeah, well, what's the big gap for? Is that where they're going to add their swimming pool or something?
Like, presumably, you wouldn't just have a giant section. Although, I guess it is moon-sized.
Yeah, like, I'm sure there's some sort of explanation as to why. But it's also, like, the same thing with the tractor beam. Why is it, like... this thing, and you have to go on this rickety little, like, thing to get to the switches and stuff, like.
Yeah, I guess too, like, presumably it could take days to get from one part of the Death Star to another.
Yeah, you'd think.
Because if it is moon-sized, it means that the diameter is moon-sized. So for you to walk from one side of the moon to the other,
well, it'd take you ages.
Like, you really, like, there'd be people on there that you would never interact with because they work in a different section.
Yeah, they'd just be like, oh, there's TK-27 over on Sector 90205. You know, it's complete opposite ends of the...
Yeah, like...
He's on the topmost pole of the Death Star.
Yeah, like, you're just in the northern half of the Death Star.
Yeah.
Because I would actually be curious if there's an in-lore explanation for how long it takes to get from one side to the other.
I'm sure they've got like little trolleys or something, or they've like, you know.
They got like those like mover belts. Like
Yeah, you just stand on them and just go through.
although I guess if you needed to get from like one section to the other, you could just like fly around it.
That'd probably be quicker. Which is a weird thought. But yeah, they're just running around in the... I do like how they have that kind of curved set, though.
Yeah, it is cool.
That's a nice touch.
It'd be really neat to see what these sets actually look like built, like behind the scenes, like in person. Because obviously there's photos and things like that, but it's not the same.
Yeah, and I bet a lot of these are like reused from shot to shot. Like it's like
Yeah, it's just the same thing over again.
basically, yeah.
Because that's probably the same hallway that Han and Chewie just ran through, because it even has the door.
Yeah, more than likely, yeah.
As a kid, this was so epic, but then you like watch it again, you're like, this is kind of lame.
Yeah, you can see like the little cable powering his little lightsaber
Well,
sticking out of his sleeve.
Just, like, the actual like fight itself is so like anticlimactic.
Yeah. Like it's very quick, and it's...
Oh yeah, look at that spin move.
And there's also like dust and stuff coming off of those.
That I don't inherently have a problem with, because like you would imagine that like the lightsabers are destroying dust in the air.
Yeah, well, it's cool, but it's like an odd detail. You like,
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
it's an unintentional thing.
But like it wouldn't make sense that they'd like kind of smoke.
And also the yellow flares that are coming off of it too.
Yeah, they did change that though. That eventually it just becomes purple.
Yeah, it's a weird thing they kept consistent with this film from its like original version. When they changed so much about these like effects.
This fight is still not that bad though.
No, it's good. It's good. Also, you can totally see the effect isn't like complete.
Woo.
Yeah, time to go, guys.
Also, how did Leia and like Luke and them all meet up at the same door?
Yeah, they're just like instinctively know where to go.
Assumably, they don't know the layout of the Death Star, so they just
Yeah.
be randomly wandering around.
This is actually like 5 days worth of like stuff condensed. This has been like a 3-day long duel, and
Yeah,
then
they've
others
been,
have got lost.
They've just been camped out in different corners.
There's a whole other movie that squeezes in between here of just life on the Death Star. They got Lost, a Star Wars story.
Oh, well, like, there probably has to be abandoned levels where there's just like people hiding.
Oh, probably. There's
like,
there's probably like there's probably a rebellion going on the Death Star.
Yeah, that just no one knows about, like, because there's
Yeah.
just a bunch of guys just hiding out somewhere.
Yeah, some guy who just does inventory all day. He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna blow this place up one day.
He's just slowly stockpiling explosives.
Yeah. It's kind of funny how we've been like lambasting these people that make all these fake stories, and we're just making their own. we're like, this is actually pretty good. Like, we do this. But when like Oingo Boingo gets his own like story, it's like, no, we can't have that.
No, you can't have Oingo Boingo.
Can't have the background of a Glup Shippo or whatever. Also, they filmed this like with like 3 different cameras, and kept it all like it's all the same
One
action.
take.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty cool. I like the amount of smoke that is in old Star Wars. Like, everything leaves smoke or like...
Yeah, everything just bursts into flames.
Yeah,
And
like- but it's a cool detail.
yeah, for sure. I love it too.
Yo.
Now this is the part I kind of check out whenever I'm watching this. When they're like escaping, and there's like another dogfight, and they got to go into the little things, and they got to shoot their little lasers, and it's, I don't know. It feels a bit unnecessary.
Also, Luke being so depressed over Ben Kenobi, who he barely knew. Like, it's been
it's
like 3 days.
Yeah, like he meets him that day, and he doesn't even like recognize him. Like he doesn't know this guy.
Like, yes, Ben Kenobi and him form a relationship, but he gets a little too depressed, you know?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Luke's a sensitive guy.
Like, Ben Kenobi's not
He did
that...
see his aunt and uncle just get incinerated like
Yeah, but
a
it's
day
not
ago.
like Ben Kenobi is that much of a mentor to him.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, he is, because, you know, it's a story, but when you actually think about the timeline of these things happening, they maybe spent, like, what, 3 days together?
Yeah, basically. I love how they just assume that like those two of the guys are gonna like shoot that, and then Leia's just gonna go sit in the, in the cockpit and do nothing.
Yeah, why don't they get Leia to shoot Han pilot? Like,
Yeah, it's
also, Han put on gloves for this.
he was wearing them earlier, but like whenever he's piloting in this movie, he wears gloves, but not in any of the other movies. He just doesn't bother.
I will say these guns do look cool.
Oh, they're cool and they're really like neatly shot. They're based on like World War II,
Well, yeah.
like turrets and stuff.
I also really like the interior shots of the guys piloting the TIE fighters. Like those shots.
Yeah, they're so atmospheric, and they don't add much narrative wise.
No, but they just look good. Where you get them like flying around.
Yeah, and it's just their face.
And presumably it's just the same guy. Like
Oh,
over and over.
100%. It's probably the same dude.
He was probably in there for like 5 minutes, and they're like, "Okay, good."
Yeah, just get all this B-roll and then just end it. It's the Falcon just bursting into flames like everything else.
Yeah, R2 put that shit out. I think the TIE fighters have the best ship sound design out of all of them.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I can't really think of too many others that have.
I guess the X-Wings have good
Yeah.
design, but I feel like the TIE fighters are just that much better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're very recognizable too.
Like the engine sounds they have, and then even the way they like their guns sound.
Mm-hmm. Also, I love like when they actually composite in like an actual explosion. It looks so much better than like a CGI thing, in my opinion. Because there's so much detail into it. There's like a depth to it.
It is expensive to blow things up, though.
Well, yeah, that's true.
How did he get into so many wires? Doesn't make sense.
I'm pretty sure that's a shot from a different part of the movie that they've repurposed to add to go here. Like you can see, like David Press's eyes.
It. You can see his eyebrows.
See, why didn't George Lucas go and erase these eyebrows? Eh? He's perfectly fine shaving Sebastian Shaw's eyebrows off. That's one thing I don't like about the special editions is like the weirdly specific changes that don't really add anything.
Yeah, he's like, I didn't want Darth Vader to have eyebrows.
Darth Vader got burned in lava, I decided, so I digitally erased this guy's eyebrows and made him look even more like an egg.
He does look like an egg.
Yeah, it messes up the guy's whole like forehead and it affects the way he emotes.
Well, that's because eyebrows are important. Mm-hmm. Google eyebrows are important. Click images and you'll see why.
I kind of wish they just did the opposite whenever they do a change. And just, like, instead of, like, erasing this guy's eyebrows, just add in eyebrows onto Hayden Christensen. Or, like, instead of putting the Jabba CGI over top of that dude, put that dude over top of the puppet in Return of the Jedi.
They just replace Jabba with the guy.
Yeah, just
but it's a CGI version of the guy.
Yeah, just lounging naked just on the thing. Even more fat and disgusting.
Oh my god, that'd be awful. That'd be the most cursed thing.
Oh, look there, he's got a thermal detonator.
I got a thermal detonator right here in my pants.
Just make a fat bastard. I don't care.
Get in my belly.
I'm gonna eat you.
Oh, look at that. That's a real red-looking planet.
Mm-hmm. That's Yavin and its little moons. Yavin number 4. And this is where I feel like they rushed the movie. Because there's, like, barely any introduction
Yeah,
to
they
these
just
characters.
show up.
Yeah, and there is, like, actual scripted, like...
Also, look at that guy. That guy got a real job. Isn't there also background about that guy?
Yeah, he's just standing there, like, on the side of the temple. And
I will say the buildings that the rebels are out of in Yavin are pretty sick.
this shot's flipped. Well, this one, sorry. Because you can tell because Han Solo, he's got his belt on the wrong way. They flip the shot so that the motion matches with everything's. So his gun's on the other side, this guy's medals are on the other side. Like, everything's all mixed around.
Oh.
And I like that Luke kind of wanders off to look at the ships. Like
that is a cool detail.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's his dream.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I always wanted to be a pilot.
I want to see Biggs Darklighter, and we're gonna go fly ships together and hold our hands.
So we didn't get any Biggs yet.
He doesn't show up for a while. Which I kind of wish there was some way to actually add that into the beginning of the film in a way that isn't so obtrusive.
Yeah, that's so bad.
Like, it's... I don't know. Like, I do like the scenes of him and, like, those random other people just
I want to know
around.
what that guy's going to do with his magic spear.
The guardian of the forest.
So he just chucks it at someone.
Oh, here we go. Here's all the rebel generals, and that guy beside Luke is supposed to be Wedge Antilles, but it's a different actor who couldn't remember his lines, so they fired him and didn't bother reshooting this.
I mean, reshooting that would actually probably be pretty expensive.
Well, they just need to do the close-ups.
I guess, but...
Like, I get they wouldn't want to do it, but, like...
Also, how can that guy not remember his lines? Like, he barely has any lines.
Yeah, he's got, like, 1.5. It's like...
Like, it probably was... it was probably more costly to fire him.
Probably. But they did replace him with Ewan McGregor's uncle, so...
Yeah, Ewan McGregor's uncle.
Yeah.
The one guy looks like Tarantino. Did you see him?
Oh, the guy...
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, that's Gold Leader.
It looks like Tarantino is just there. He's like, where's the feet at?
Yeah.
There it is, boys.
It's actually kind of funny with the names of the pilots and stuff, because they have names. Like, that's Dutch Vander is his Star Wars name. But, like, there's... I found a blooper that they showed at one of the Star Wars celebrations of him just yelling, fuck. But in the dialogue, he's referring to another character as that name.
Dutch, stand by and take over.
I know. This movie's a mess. Like, I'm glad it's on the cutting room floor, because
Wait,
it's...
did they have a different extra that was Wedge already in there?
Yeah.
Like, so the guy that played Wedge is already in there as a different guy.
No.
It looked like he was.
It might have been. I don't know.
Like,
I didn't even looked. But I think he's just... They brought in a different actor for the shots in the ship. And they kept him for the rest of the trilogy, which is, like...
Well, they kept him to the end.
Yeah. I'm surprised George Lucas didn't just edit that guy out. Because there's so many of those random background pilots that aren't in the rest of the movie. They're just there, and they just don't go in any of these ships.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some weird decisions made here.
Yeah, it's so bizarre.
That's just the B team. The A team was off doing something and came back. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
we actually don't need you anymore.
Where was Jet Porkins? He didn't even get the briefing. Like,
Yeah, no wonder he died.
yeah, he doesn't know what he's doing.
He's like, why are we here?
He's like stuck in the porta potty. Like, he couldn't get out. He's stuck in his X-wing. Couldn't get him out. Aw, guys, a little help here.
Han Solo seems like he's always like, oh, it's not my idea to hang around here. But it seems like he'd be on board to blow up the Death Star. Like, that seems on character for him, but it's also on character for him not to want to stay and help.
Yeah, he wants to, like, live his own life. He wants to escape. You know, he's a man on the run. A man with the runs.
Columbia put out a cool orange sweatery based off of their flight jumpsuits. Mm-hmm. Did you see that?
I don't think I've seen it. But I do love the costumes in this. They're so, like, simple, but they're really, like...
They look great.
Yeah, they really evoke that kind of World War II kind of stuff. Also, I'm pretty sure that guy next to Leia, that random officer guy,
Yeah.
is the guy who test fitted the Boba Fett costume. And he played Bosk.
That's cool.
Yeah. I forget what his name is, but he's very distinctive looking. He's got a really kind of jagged face.
I know Mark Hamill had that accident, but like young Mark Hamill and current Mark Hamill look so different.
Well, Mark Hamill in this versus Mark Hamill in Empire Strikes Back is such a difference. And I think it's because his face is more wide after the accident. Because he looks really young, is the thing with this. And here's our friend Biggs Darklighter. And there's Red Leader. Which they cut out a line from him where he talks about knowing Anakin Skywalker. And they cover it with that guy walking past. He's like, I used to know your father back in... You know,
Also, it's weird that Biggs is like, oh yeah, he's the best pilot in the Outer Rim. Dude has never piloted a ship.
yeah, this guy's never been off Tatooine.
Like, dude has barely left his farm. Let me pilot a ship here.
Like, I mean, I know they talk about, like, the, you know, sky hoppers and all that stuff. But that is very much like an atmospheric thing. Like,
Yeah, but that's like saying, oh yeah, I can drive a car versus I can fly a plane.
Yeah, that's what it feels like, yeah.
Also, why does Why does Luke get to keep R2? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, he should belong to Princess Leia.
Like Leia, he does belong to Leia. Like Leia entrusts him with this mission. Mm-hmm. But why does Luke get to bring him along as his droid?
I don't know. It's like, oh, this is the droid that had the Death Star plans in it. Let's go blow it up in a ship. Like, yeah. Also, none of these guys show up in the battle either. They're just random guys.
Well, they could be attacking a different part, I guess.
No.
No. No. No. No. No. No. You will die.
X-Wings look so uncomfortable.
I love how all these background extras just have the masks pulled so far down over their faces.
They didn't want us to pay them to show their face.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. But I love it.
I feel like anyone could just claim to be one of those guys because like, he's going to tell you no.
In 1977, I was this guy. And it's like you could see his mouth, and that's it. He's got like a RoboCop.
See, like, what
in
is
the
that
face.
guy doing with his spear? What is that spear going to accomplish?
I don't know, but his little tractor thing that like he follows the ships with is like just a bunch of camera lenses taped together. That's what they use for the prop. It's so funny.
Also, I find it weird that they're like not attempting to evacuate Yavin at all. They're like, you know what? This is our greatest plan.
Yeah, we're just gonna stay here. Like they have no capital ships or anything. They should have like some big cruiser that can all hop in and leave or like something.
Yeah, well, even like when they're attacking Hoth, they're all like, "Oh, let's leave." Mm-hmm. Yavin, they're like, "Nah, if they get us here, that's it."
There's no changing it.
Although I guess, given the context of what George Lucas thought and why he did the Death Star even at the time, was because he wasn't sure he'd get to make another one.
Yeah, well, I think that's partly true. Yeah. Again, I don't trust George Lucas when he talks about anything.
No, but I think he was like they didn't think that this movie was going to do nearly as well as it was. And
No,
they were going to get to make 9 films.
Well, that's why they wrote Splinter of a Mind's Eye, in case this movie went through and he had to do it like on a bare bones budget for a sequel. Also, this Red Leader, the actor that plays him, his name is misspelled in the credits.
Really?
Yeah, and they for the special edition they didn't even bother to fix that.
It's a big no-no in film.
Yeah, like, and like this was his last movie role. Like he had like bipolar disorder and he couldn't act anymore.
Oh, that's just even more sad.
Mm-hmm. They like used archive clips in Rogue One of him, and they spelled his name right then. But apparently George Lucas only cares about his little vanity things. It doesn't want to actually fix like genuine mistakes in his movie.
Yeah, fixing genuine mistakes is for plebs.
Yeah, yeah.
Why does the footage look so crunchy in the ships?
I don't know.
Like everything else pretty much looks fine, and presumably they're just shot in a studio, so they could have been
Yeah,
lit.
they were all shot in studio.
And I guess like they're like, oh, they're in space, so there's no light, but still, like, look how dark that is. Mm-hmm. There's barely even color.
I think it might be like a compositing thing for the special edition.
You think so?
It might be. Because the colors look really strange compared to everything else. But it might just be like that in the original film too. I really don't know. Although I am a fan of
There
like
goes
some harsh
Porkins.
lighting. There's Porkins, yeah.
Bye, Porkins.
Later. Yeah, where's the Jet Porkins official novel?
I'd read that.
the Jet Porkins handbook.
How did he become the Porkins?
Yeah.
It's the real question. Oh my god, the tension.
Also, I love the green.
Yeah, the green is satisfying. There's not a lot of green in Star Wars, like green lighting.
Mm-hmm.
There's obviously a lot of green when they go to like forest planets, but
Yeah.
specifically green lights, there's very rare.
Mm-hmm.
Although I feel like green lights, something you see all the time in film. You never see green lights in person.
No.
Like there's always green looking lighting or like green lighting. Like you can get greenish lighting from like fluorescence or like old tube lights. But overall, most lights that people have are daylight or yellow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I kind of like it too. It has like kind of a very 90s feel, like hacking and stuff like that. They kind of green.
Well, a lot of things have green lights in film, but then you really look around you and you're like,
Yeah, you got street lights and that's about it.
yeah, there's really not. And like harsh green too. Like there's just a lot. Or like say people shoot something in like a digi bathroom somewhere. It's usually green lighting.
Yeah.
It'd just be fluorescent tubes.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make sense.
No, not at all.
R2 is probably like, oh my god, I don't want to die. Luke, you're a terrible pilot.
It's the Clone Wars all over again.
Also, yeah, because isn't R2's memory supposed to have not been wiped ever?
That's apparently the lore, yeah.
So, like, R2 should just, like, know so much.
Oh, he knows everything.
Like, he was there when they were born. Like, is he not like, Luke?
Yeah, he was there when Anakin got dismembered and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
he
should know
watched the Emperor come in and land. Like,
Yeah.
he dragged Padme's corpse onto the ship.
I like to think that was C-3PO. But the idea of R2 with his little like, grappling hook,
Yeah.
like he does with like C-3PO's head, just doing that to Padme, just drilling it into her head and dragging it into the ship. Like, we don't know why she died. Then C-3PO is just looking at R2 and he's like, what did you do? Yeah. I do gotta say the editing of this, like whenever I watch it, it always feels like it's gonna end one way, and it doesn't. You know, like it feels like it's neck and neck, like they're gonna lose, like it's hopeless.
Well, that's the point.
Yeah, I know, but it's still after watching it so many times, you still like have that same feeling.
That's fair. They've stopped.
I love this guy. He's just so sweaty, and it's like his chin strap's not even done up. He's like,
He looks so uncomfortable.
yeah. I'm pretty sure they filmed those extras without any pants on. By the way.
Really?
Yeah, because it was so hot. There was a big heat wave in when they filmed this in Great Britain.
Move.
So all the pilots aren't wearing pants. I think there's a behind-the-scenes picture of that somewhere.
It's a cool detail that they would be sweaty, because I would assume it would be pretty hot in those ships.
Yeah, for sure. It's like a little like desk fan or something.
Although I guess it would also maybe be pretty cold, because, space.
I think they're just stressed.
Yeah, that too.
There's a guy with like high cholesterol. He's
Cold sweat.
cold sweat. He's got the meat sweats.
What I
Milk
think
sweats.
looks really funny about specifically the Rebels versus the Empire is a lot of the Empire guys are like slim and trim, like athletic looking guys. Whereas the Rebels is just a bunch of schlubs.
They're pulled off the street. Some guy on a subway, like
you know what I mean? Like they all kind of look a little chunky. Like they're just kind of there.
yeah, like, they're all balding and
Also,
like
it's you, Steve.
yeah, I know that guy looks like me. That's me in 40 years.
We just shave your head.
That's General Bob Hudsell for all you nerds with a dictionary.
Wait, it's actually his name is General Bob.
Yeah,
Is he based off of Jedi Bob?
I cannot comment.
This gold leader. But yeah, like look at all the pilots. They all look like absolute schlubs.
Yeah, like they're all like overweight guys. Well, some of these guys are pretty thin too, but like
I know, but like a lot of the Empire guys, they're all pretty uniform in how they look.
yeah, they're very much that kind of
Like that military look.
yeah, they're the
Whereas
kind
these
of
just look like random ass dudes.
yeah. Well, I think that's kind of intentional,
Maybe.
because George Lucas really had this kind of idea of like, the band of misfits.
I guess that's fair.
The
It just looks like they pulled you and I off the street to try to,
yeah, I know.
fight in the rebellion.
Also, this guy's just pouring with sweat. It came from behind.
My question is it possible to make this shot without the Force?
I don't know. Probably not.
Because presumably, right? What's his name? Jyn Erso.
Oh, Galen Erso. Yeah, when he
Galen
puts the plane in.
Erso. He made it big enough that someone should be able to do it without the Force. Because he wouldn't know that some Jedi would do it.
Well, this other guy almost did it, but it just impacts on the surface and it doesn't go in.
Well, but that's the issue. Like, you got to make sure it doesn't do that.
Well, I'm sure it's like a 1 in a million kind of shot. I think he probably could do it.
Look
But,
at him. There he is. The true wedge.
The true wedge. Yeah. This is bigger wedge.
This is Wedge E.
I love this guy just like is
Oof.
like passionate yell as he dives into that. It's very, very Doctor Strangelove, when the guy like hops on the missile and just dives in.
That could also just be you.
Wait.
The other like old guy. That was
Oh, the
getting
big beard,
there.
yeah.
Does he die?
No, but they kill off all these characters in the Star Wars Marvel comics.
Oh.
Like the new ones that they're doing. Yeah, there's just one like guy who was writing them. He's like, we gotta get rid of these guys before the Empire Strikes Back starts because they're not in these movies, and they just kill them all off in like 3 or 4 comics. They just
Lame.
kill
You
all
feel
these
like you
characters.
could have had a bigger arc.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they didn't bring back so many of these actors. Like, I know they're just kind of background guys who like did like 3 days worth of filming, but like
Yeah, but the
for some
consistency
sense,
of it,
yeah,
you
exactly.
know?
They bring back Wedge out of all characters.
Yeah, Wedge.
and no one
barely
else.
even is it.
Yeah.
In it. Like they didn't. You know, they should have combined Wedge and what's his face, Luke's friend.
Oh, Biggs.
Yeah, Wedge
Yeah.
and Biggs should have just been combined into one. Character.
Well, Wedge kind of becomes the new Biggs because like after Biggs dies, Luke just doesn't shut up about Wedge, and like all
I
the
know,
dog
but like
fights.
it would have made more sense if they became like one character.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it.
Well, I think they were so hard set on certain ideas that like you can so see his eyes in that shot. Yeah, but they kind of there are these weird like vestigial parts of the script that stay in, and that other things that got cut out. It's a mess, really.
I know, but I'm just like, even when you're writing the script though, because like he creates Wedge, which is kind of Luke's friend there in that like briefing.
Yeah,
And you also have Biggs, and it's just like, well, why wouldn't you combine them?
that would make a lot of sense. I agree.
Like, I don't know. It's fine that there's more characters, but I just feel like relationship-wise, it makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Although I guess it gives Luke feelings against the Empire that Biggs dies, but he doesn't ever really react about Biggs dying in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
He never mentions Biggs again.
Also, the scripts are very specific up until kind of the last draft about Wedge being 16 years old. Like they drill that home very hard, even though they change like every other detail about him. They're like, well, this is this young upstart, yada yada yada. They have like a very specific like description of him that sticks.
How old is Luke meant to be?
I don't know, like probably around the same age or something. But like Wedge in the original like drafts and stuff was very much meant to be this kind of hot shot kind of guy.
Well, isn't Luke meant to be like 20?
19, I think, is what they settled on. But Mark Hamill's older than that. Like, Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher are not the same age.
I thought they were close in age.
They're close. They're a couple years apart. But it's not like...
Oh, no, R2! Also, R2 looks black and white there.
Yeah, for some of the compositing, because he's blue, right?
Yeah.
And they use blue screen, so the black or the blue parts become black. And they fix that for a lot of the shots in these films for the special edition. But some of them they miss.
Yeah. They miss a lot.
It's inconsistent. That's the problem.
This is such a good scene in cinema. Like, the tension of it is just...
Oh, it just builds and it builds and it builds.
And, like, all the guys are getting picked off one by one.
Yeah. Except for Wedge, who just fucks off. What?
What?
What? Yeah.
Whoa.
They're like, we gotta keep Darth Vader around. We gotta use him later.
Doot, 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 doot.
Also, there's that one Y-wing that somehow survives.
Yeah. I like that it cuts to Tarkin right before it blows up.
Yeah, there's like no
So it
ambiguity.
goes
that comes from
Tarkin,
that.
and he's like, whoa! Like,
which
oh,
is
yeah.
which is a shot from like it's like just an extended version of like that other shot of him just standing there before they. I think it's before they interrogate Princess Leia. There's like some shots that are just him standing there. It's so see Dave Prowse in that mask.
Yeah, medal ceremony. Hashtag where's Chewie's medal?
He didn't
Is that
deserve
C-3PO running up?
it. It's the 100-meter dash.
He's like, oh, yeah.
Oh man. Are we just like pushing people out of the way?
So heartwarming.
Yeah.
Luke looks rough there. He looks like he hasn't slept in days. Look at his eyes.
It's a man who's seen
Look at
war.
C-3PO. C-3PO's looking dead.
Yeah. Well, he always has that kind of vacant stare. There's no soul behind those eyes. But yeah, look at all these rebel schlubs. I love them.
Does C-3PO not ever, like, share the knowledge that he's acquired over the millennia that he's basically existed?
Well, he keeps getting his memory wiped.
I thought they don't wipe it, though.
There's R2-D2.
Or, yeah, no, R2-D2 is what I meant.
Also, these guys with the visors.
Also, we go right from, like, oh, yeah, we blew up the Death Star, to metal scene to over.
Yeah, there was that one scene where they meet and they're like, oh, we must save R2-D2. But yeah,
Also,
otherwise-
imagine having to be those guys at the back. You don't see shit.
some of those guys are matte paintings. At least in the original version. But like they did have a lot of people filming.
Also, like, if this is just the entire Rebel force, that's, like, nobody. Although I know it's not, because they're all on all sorts of different planets fighting.
Man, there's so much
Presumably,
inconsistency.
this is the main force.
Yeah,
It's a good yellow jacket, though.
it's cool. I wouldn't mind having that.
Why hasn't fashion gone more the direction of Star Wars? You know, like I feel like fashion's going the wrong direction.
Also, I like how the rebel generals are wearing like 5 layers of clothing. They have those giant like white lab coats
I
that they put on for
stand
no
by
reason.
that guy with the freaking huge mustache, looking like you. Like you're telling me that doesn't look like you?
Oh, he looks like me, 100%.
Like that's just you. Like you could totally just.
That's
be
me
that
without
guy.
hair. Like
No, he
well,
has hair. He's just got the bald top.
yeah, he's got the egg dome.
Hashtag where's Chewie's medal? Yeah, look at R2, crisp and clean.
And C-3PO, he's all polished up. He's not covered in freaking slime.
Seeing this scene without music is so goofy.
It's very funny, yeah.
where it's just sound and they're like,
Because there's no dialogue. They're just
I
all
know.
standing there. It's not much of a ceremony. There's no speeches or anything. Wedge doesn't get a medal either.
yeah, like Wedge is like that guy on the left. It's just you. I'm sorry, but I can't unsee it.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, there we go. Written and directed, George Lucas.
George Lucas. Gary Kurtz. Him and his Abe Lincoln beard. George Lucas. Yeah.
I like the blue of the credits. Mark Hamill.
Harrison Ford. Carrie Fisher.
You know, honestly,
Peter Cushing.
I think what's his face that played C-3PO?
Anthony Daniels.
Yeah, he should have got a more prominent name in the credits, considering he's objectively
Yeah, he's-
one of the
he's here.
most main characters.
And also the James Earl Jones is one that added later. Because he originally didn't want to be like credited in the film. Because it was such a small role.
That's pretty cool.
You will subscribe.
Thanks for watching and listening to A New Hope Star Wars with us on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Quality content.
Absolutely quality.
See ya!
Later.